Om. Namaste to all of you. We are going to continue our investigation into understanding how we can have happy, healthy relationships with everyone around. What we can do to make these robust bonds that is beneficial not only to ourselves but also everyone involved. So it's not about only me profiting from these but also from everyone involved being benefited. So last week we dived into the topic and we understood that there are three major entities which we can look at it from a philosophical perspective. One is me, which includes all the things I consider as I, me, myself. And whether it is a incorrect understanding that I am the body, or whether it is a philosophically sound, reasonable experience that I am the Atma. So we wrap around this system, we call that as Jivatma. Now the next thing what we also understood is there is Jagat, which includes all the other people and objects I'm having relationship with, and also the ones which I don't have any relationship. I don't have a relationship with the mountains and the stars and the galaxies and things like that. But I do have interaction with all the people who are listening here, for example. So, bottom line, we are talking about the entire perceived and also kind of subtle world around us. Kicha, am I audible? Yeah, let me step out and come back. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. So we were talking about the two entities, Jivatma and Jagat. And now we have a third element that we have Paramatma. Now, Paramatma is not going to be involved in our equation or interaction. Although he is all pervading, he is the foundation, substratum on which everything is there, he is not going to interfere why you and your wife are having a quarrel, or why your boss is mad at you, or why the neighbor is not respecting you. Bhagwan is not involved in these kind of mundane things. So all I need to do is resolve this interaction between Jiva and Jagat. But both this Jiva and Jagat, I have problems because I have a misunderstanding about what is me. Instead of understanding that I am the Atma, I am obviously reducing myself to something that is not real, like the body or the wealth or the status or something that is not real. This incorrect notion, if you are doing a mathematical equation and you are making an assumption at the beginning of the equation that x is equal to 2, you have done the entire equation. But if finally you found out that x is negative 2 and not positive 2, how will that affect your equation, your assumption, your derivation? Everything will be wrong downstream. So same way, when I don't have this understanding of what is jiva, I make this continuous error that keeps compounding over a period of time. Okay. That is understandable. But there is another approach, because when we are trying to understand, hey, what is Jiva, it is a subtle idea. Not everybody is going to be interested in it. It is something which is something that we need a lot of training, lot of handholding, lot of guidance, lot of guru's grace, lot of Rishis grace. And since we may not be qualifying for that due to various factors, and most of it is self-denial due to our own arrogance and ignorance, that doesn't seem to be an optimal way to maintain that solution. So let's approach from the other side, the Jagat side. Now the Jagat also, we are looking at it from a different perspective. We already saw many times in the past that our mind can operate on different um, levels of vision. We can operate on I, me, myself zone. We can operate on tapping into resources. Once we get the resources, we can go and achieve what we want to do as karma. So from that perspective, it can operate in a slightly better way called artha as a goal. But we also understand that it can go to even a higher level and understand how the entire system is working. You are not thinking of one system, you are thinking of system of systems. Then you are thinking how you can start your understanding that. Then we understand that is Dharma. We also dived last week in detail and understood that this Dharma is nothing but a representation of Bhagwan himself. Bhagwan himself is seen and perceived in this world as Dharma. So for the people who are the atheists and people who are like so-called self-rationalists, it's a lot easier to just understand little bit of Dharma and then immediately everything will fall in place. But that's a tall order because of the gap we have put between ourselves and this dharmic understanding. We also took some time to analyze and understand that Bhagwan exists as Dharma, this Ishvara that is manifest in this Jagat is in the form of Dharma. We also got a proof from our Maricha, whom we analyzed a few weeks ago, and we understood that he gives the best insight into Rama by saying Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. That Rama himself is verily Dharma. We have so many other supplementary statements in many places. In one place we say Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam is like Krishna is verily the ancient Dharma. So we do have a lot of Shastra Vakya to prove that Bhagavan himself is Dharma. We also, few months ago, in another talk, when we were discussing about Kali Yuga, we discussed that Kali Yuga has different, reductionist aspects on Dharma. It reduces Dharma to something very small. And for us to understand what is the real nature of Dharma, we need to go to the story where Parikshit confronts this cruel man who is beating a bull. And this bull, which had 4 legs, was reduced to standing on only 1 leg. And we saw what it was. We saw that in that story from the 12th skanda. in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Dharma that stands on four legs was reduced to merely standing only on Satyam. The other three legs of Shaucham, Kshama, and Daya have been broken. And we can look all around us and we can say, yes, that is true. Because we do see that the average cleanliness has gone down. You go and see every major city around the world, there will be a situation of cleanliness. Even if you come to the first world country of US and you come and see the California, you will find so many homeless people who have reduced that golden state to a ridiculous state. Same way, we don't have this kshama or forbearance. We are so intolerant. We can't bear anything. So there also we have taken a beating. And then the third one, daya, compassion. Well, that is totally out of question now. We are not even bothered about daya or compassion. So back to where we were talking. We were discussing that Dharma is standing only on Satya. Satya is the only hope we have for upholding Dharma. But there also we have started doing our, as usual, what we have done with other things. We have reduced the understanding or definition of Satya to not telling lies. It's not even speaking truth. Such is the sadness we have reduced our understanding to. The other day in one of the Q&A sessions, there was this character who came and he was saying, he was demanding an explanation about that he was accusing Brahmanas were doing this and that. So I was forced to engage in a discussion with him and I told that it is the guna and karma that determine the varna. It is not by birth. Immediately, that self-certified intelligent character, he said, I am a good person. We are all good only. Then why we are not in that varna? It is not our self-certified nature of goodness or badness that goes here. That is not what is taken into the factor. It is just like saying, I have not killed anyone, I have not voluntarily told any lies, so I am a good person. That is not the criteria for a person being good or bad. So, same way, Satya is not merely speaking truth, and that also we have reduced to not speaking lies. Satya is speaking truth is just one small aspect of its expression. That's all. And we also looked at, for understanding Dharma, we are trying to look at a role model. When we look around all the people, we can always find this fault or that fault. But if we look deep enough, look up our ancestral chain, we don't know enough. How many of us remember 5 generations before who your grandfather or grandmother, which village they were? Oh, I'll be really considering myself lucky to meet someone who knows about their 5th generation grandfather or grandmother. We barely know 3 generations. And that too, if you are doing 3 generations, because now Malya Paksham has started, you are remembering your ancestors. Now, on that side note, we spoke about Malya Paksha, the importance of it yesterday, and upholding the remembrance of Pitrus is very foundational. Even if you have given up the Deva Arati or Aditi Satkara or Vriddhas taking over, caring for them, or doing Atma Vichara. If you just hold on to only remembering your Pitrus, you don't even have to be qualified. The Adhikara. What is the Adhikara? That your parents, one of your parents should have passed away. Then you could go and do the proper Tarpana. But even assuming your parents are there, in the next 15 days, till the Amavasa comes on 25th, 26th, whatever, take that time to daily few minutes. Imagine your health, your beauty, your grace, your all the things what you are so proud of have all been given to us by the blessing of our Pitrus. How many of us know that many children are born with congenital diseases, missing limbs, right? We are lucky to be born with all 10 fingers, 10 toes, right? We have all of them to count them. So let us take little time during this Malya Paksha to remember, even if you are a woman, you can think about your ancestors on both sides. Mother's side also and father's side also. And also all our ancestors with whom we are interconnected. Imagine how much effort our ancestors put for upholding Dharma despite the Islamic onslaught, despite the British abuse. Now, since we have forgotten that, we don't have that connect. We don't have the respect. So why did we look at ancestors? To look for role model. And we just analyzed that most of us don't even know or remember enough to even thank our own last 3 generations. So if I want to take a photocopy, I take a photocopy of a blank sheet. What will I get? I'll get a blank sheet. If I take a photocopy of Bhagwan Krishna's picture, I'll get a photocopy of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. I won't get Hanuman there. But you take a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy, nth level, you won't even recognize what you have taken a photocopy of, because there is going to be a distortion. So what we are going to do is go to the original. The original we want to copy. And since we don't even have the photocopy of the photocopy of the photocopy, our ancestral lineage, we will go straight to the source, Shri Ramachandra Murthy, and we will analyze. It is important for us to understand how he interacted with others, so that we can take that and apply in our lives, so that we can also have happy, healthy relationships. What is the goal here? The goal is simple. It's all about my own happiness, which we are all comfortable, right? That's what we have been doing since our birth, right? Even when you are a small baby, you needed a diaper change, you cried, your mom took care of it, and you are good. You wanted milk, you cried, mom took care of it. So we are always in the journey of searching for happiness. So the same thing we have to extend. So what we are going to do is, we understood that doing deep Atma Vichara should fix all the problems. But since I am not interested, qualified, educated, I don't like it, whatever, I'm lazy, whatever, I don't have time for it. So we are going to approach happiness from outside in instead of inside out. And all we are trying to do is just to set our vision setting to Dharma level so that we can detect. If you are going to look in a microscope, you need to tune your microscope to the level to which you are seeing. Same thing with telescope, right? You're going to first tune in where you're going to see. You can't just take a telescope and just point wherever you want and expect to see everything bright and clear. So that tuning process, we are setting our mind to Dharma level. Why? Because we understand Bhagwan himself is in the level of Dharma only. So I want to understand that. We also took last week some time to understand that whatever little understanding or impression I have of Dharma is a good starting point. I don't need to become another Yudhishthira to master everything and then start my journey. I start wherever I am, with whatever little understanding. Only thing is, in our zeal and earnestness, we are starting this journey. And whatever little dharma I understand, I observe, I follow. Once I am following it, I am following it at all costs. Not conveniently following when I want and not leaving it whenever I don't. And then I'm going to look at upholding that dharma, upholding that ecosystem where dharma can be practiced. So we understood what is a dharma follower, who is a dharma enabler. When we have done all these steps, now my understanding of dharma has gone to a real level. Now from that vantage point, I'll be able to see the next level of dharma. Again, I continue the journey by observing that particular dharma, and then I enable that system. And if there is a threat to that, I am going to protect it, defend it. So that is the cycle we were talking about. Now let us take the example of Rama, how he interacted with the different characters in Ramayana. We are going to use Valmiki Ramayana as our source, and we are going to continue this journey how to proceed. First, let's look at how Rama interacted with his parents. When I say parents, I would include all the three queens, not just only Kausalya. So, let's look at father. Makes it a lot easier, right? We all know, we have at least heard in Nama Ramayana and all, right? Pitru Vakyashrita Kananaram. What does that mean? By listening to his father's words, he went to the forest. Right. But if we look and analyze not the TV Ramayana but Valmiki Ramayana, what you and I will be surprised to find is Dasharatha doesn't tell anywhere looking at Rama, go to forest. In fact, we did this talk separately on that incident that happened for the 24 hours in life of Rama. Remember that incident where the previous day Dasharatha called him and said, hey, you are going to be the not just the crown prince. So now you see there was one guy who was waiting like 70 years for his mother to die, so that he immediately jumped onto that seat. Rama was not like that. He was not waiting for Dasharatha. He was wanting Dasharatha to live as long as he could. That is the difference in culture. But the thing is that when Rama was asked to go to the forest next day in Brahma Muhurta, when Rama went to see his father, in between something had happened. Manthara had turned the screws on Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi in turn went and turned the screws on Dasharatha. Dasharatha fell at Kaikeyi's feet, not to ask for those untimely boons which he was entitled to, because Dasharatha had given the word, anytime you can cash it. So anytime you can cash it was the problem. and she took advantage of it. She said 14 years Rama should go to forest, and by the next moon Bharata should be the king. Now Rama enters the scene. Dasaratha is just barely conscious. He can't even talk. At that time, Kaikeyi steps in and says, I asked your father about these things, and he is unable to make a call. That's what she says. Rama said, you wasted those 2 boons. You could have just called me and told me, get out. I would have gone. You just could have indicated. You wasted your 2 boons unnecessarily. Look at the way Rama is looking at it. Now, Rama, we are now looking at from a relationship perspective. Let's finish all the 3 characters, other 3 Ranis also involved. Kausalya Devi wanted to go with Rama. He said, no, you are not allowed. You have to stay with your husband. And then you also look at Sumitra, who said, hey, forget about mother, father and all. You go. You go with Rama. That's why you are born. That's the purpose of your life, to go and serve Bhagwan. Sumitra was the most balanced person. Now let's come back to our theme. We are looking at relationships. When Rama looked at the equation, he did not look at why did Dasaratha ask him to go to the forest. He didn't say. Dasaratha told, you know what, this boy is too good of a boy. He will not even listen to me. He was secretly hoping that Rama would put him in the jail and take over the kingdom, and everybody would have supported. Everybody, the whole kingdom would have supported, people would have supported, even the queens also may have supported. Put this lady in jail and everything would have been fine. But Rama was not like that. Upholding Dharma will take you through, sometimes you will be hauled through coal, hot coal, red hot coal. You will have to withstand that heat. And Rama didn't bother about that because he was more concerned about upholding Dharma in the equation. In our relationship, if Dharma is the problem and if we focus on upholding Dharma there, not about the Kama or Artha, not about the other lower level information, if our focus is on upholding Dharma, we will definitely have that equation nice. I was talking to someone and they were saying, like why somebody got recently married and that girl immediately after a couple of months got divorced. Now that girl's somebody's sister or somebody is getting married. Hopefully this marriage also will last. Some discussion was going on like that. And then we were discussing why is divorce like such a normal thing nowadays. And then in the normal person thinks, I want a companion, I want a relationship, I want some fun, I want some resources, this person has money, this person can take care, this person is beautiful and this will be a nice object for me to enjoy. There are people who think their husband or wife is an object, or they think they are the ATM bank, or they think they are the key to their happiness. And that is a very wrong way of looking at the equation of relationship. So same thing happened when we were looking at Rama and how he looks at the 3 queens. Let's look at what he did to Kaikeyi. He was not upset with Kaikeyi. In fact, anybody who was upset with Kaikeyi would upset Rama, be it Sita or Lakshmana. He would not let them speak negative. You can go and check that. Many years later also, if Lakshmana still harbored that anger, he would not let him express them. But when it came to Bharata, he understood Rama. Bharata was so mad at Kaikeyi. He literally had, he calls her names. In fact, in Valmiki Ramayana. And then Shatrughna sniffed out the root of all this evil was Mandara, and he caught hold of her and she started screaming. And Kaikeyi intervened to her rescue. So Bharata looked at Shatrughna and said, already we are in a disaster. Why do you want to compound the problem? If you even put a small scratch on that Mantara or Kaikeyi, don't you understand that I would, how much I would like to get rid of these two characters who have caused so much misery and heartache? But if Rama comes to know that we have hurt these two people, he will immediately cut off the relationship between ourselves and him. As such, we are troubled by the distance that is separating us. Why do you want to compound that by putting a wedge even deeper and removing the equation or relationship we have with Rama? So, even Rama was not there, but he maintained that Sarva Bhuta Hite Bhava, that mindset. So, Rama's point never wavered here and there away from Dharma at any time. So, when all these people came later to meet, that takes us to the next level, the citizens of Ayodhya. So, I have pinned the article for people who are interested and curious. You can always go and look at that article that is pinned also. That's the basis of our theme of our talk. So, we also have the different citizens of Ayodhya. Throughout their journey with Rama, they were so happy. In fact, there is one full sarga in Valmiki Ramayana where all the citizens come and declare, that is before Dasharatha decides to do Pattabhishekam for Rama, all the citizens come and tell what their experience and feeling about Rama is. And they are convincing Dasharatha, hey, you have been sitting on the throne for too long, get out. We want Rama there. Yes, you have done a wonderful job. You have done a great job all these years. But please vacate. We want Rama. Someone, yes, you may be like the moonlight, but when you are standing right next to the sun, your light doesn't hold true. So the citizens were anxious, but how Rama was looking at them? Of course, he was like happy with every single person. If they were happy, he would also share their enjoyment. If they were sad, he would also suffer uh, their sorrow. That was the relationship Rama had with them. But now, what happened? The interesting thing was, Rama is now leaving Ayodhya. All Ayodhya is ready to join him. They are saying, forget this old man has lost his marbles. Let's go where Dharma is, where Rama is. Rama understood that pain is something which he has to handle very quickly. So he asked Sumantra to immediately go on a fast track and take them out of Ayodhya as soon as he could. He didn't want to prolong the misery. Now they also, all the citizens, when Bharata said, hey, I am going to go and find Rama, he's staying in Chitrakuta, I am going to go. All citizens said, we are also going to come. So look at the interesting thing. Bharata's first administrative task was to do a road project. He built a road with better specifications than you and I can dream of, all the way to Chitrakuta, so that so many elephants could travel simultaneously, so many chariots could go simultaneously, with rest areas, with trees and things like that. And then when all of them came, now people said, Rama, please come back. The Rishis came and told, Rama, you went to honor your father's word. Your father himself is not there. Come back. The Ranis, Pattamayishis, they came and they said, hey, you went because I told you that. I asked your father. Now you come back. Now, people like Jabali, we already looked at it in the past, came and gave twisted arguments to test Rama's resolve, whether he was ready to uphold Dharma. Vasishtha, the Kulaguru, came and said, Rama, please come back. Consider coming back. Now, concessions will be given to us when we are upholding Dharma. But Rama is, after all, Rama. He didn't look at those concessions and say, like, okay, good, thank you for all your love. Let me end this journey and turn back and go back to Ayodhya. Such a person would never be Rama. Rama did not waver from Dharma, because when situation comes in relationships, whether to uphold Dharma or to use the concession, if the minute you use the concession, all the people who have given you the concession know that you could be bought at that price, and next time they will go for a lower price, and then you will go even lower. So you will be going in the reverse direction on a fast track. Now that doesn't mean you arrogantly be stubborn and say that I will only do whatever I want. It's my way or the highway. Now, if you do that, my way or the highway, in a relationship, from a kama or artha level, that will lead to 100% disastrous result. But when you are saying, I will uphold Dharma at any cost, I will uphold Dharma even at a personal cost, even if it is detrimental to me, I am going to uphold Dharma no matter what. Now you are not only temporarily, people in that relationship may feel, okay, it's not good, I don't know why they are doing like that, why he is doing like that, she is doing like that. Eventually they will reconcile to the fact and start seeing Dharma through your example, and that example will uplift you. Take one simple example. Marathon runners, right? They could quit any time. Lot of people run marathon and they do. But despite that 26 miles they have to run, let's say that they have run 25.5 miles, they have run and they are like bust, not even 1 ounce of energy. But they will persist because that's their dream, that's the vision. Now that is only at a kama level. But they are upholding a principle of not giving up. And that is itself a big lesson for people who are seeing people like you and me and saying, wow, look, they didn't give up. They dragged their feet, but they still crossed the line. That's because they are upholding a principle. Here, when in our life, in our personal relationships, when we don't cut corners, when we don't compromise, when we don't give in to temptations, but we are fighting to uphold Dharma at a high level, we set the standards, we follow the standards, and we will not give in to our lower side. And that is the example, that is what sustains healthy, happy relationships. In an equation, let's say for example, there is a father and mother. Father lost job. Now, if he is struggling to meet his ends meet, and still he does whatever it takes to get a new job or do whatever it takes, he's protecting his children and he's doing that. Now, instead, if he gives up Dharma and says, no, 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 you know what, I will take to robbery, what will happen? He will not be the role model anymore. So, when we uphold the Dharma, despite the problems, despite the concessions given to us, we are the official bearers of that Dharma. We are the example that that relationship needs. And it is true whether it is a spouse or friends, employer, employee, anywhere. You could extrapolate this example and fit it there. The next example we are going to look at, what was the relationship of Rama with the Rishis. That's an interesting topic to look at. Whenever Rama had a free time, and if you want to find where Rama is or was, he would disappear to the sages and go and listen to them. Now, he knew all, like he is Bhagwan himself, he knows what is truth, he understands everything. But he always used to look at the example and the role model and the wisdom of the elevated sages. And then what he did was, he used to look through the example and the prism of the Rishis who are upholding Dharma. And this connection is like a battery recharge. If you have an iPhone or a Tesla, and if you don't charge it for 1 month, no matter how powerful it is, it will still lose charge. So in all of our lives, we may be ethical, moral people, we may have good standards, we may have no problems in life, all good things may be happening to us, but still, if we don't keep that constant recharge mode on, we will slowly start succumbing to the pressures of samsara and our vasanas. So Rama is setting the standard. The most important thing in a relationship is how to keep that to the next level. What better way than satsanga? Because that is the only antidote we can all administer. We can take that as a vaccine against all the ailments in samsara. So what we need to understand, that a lot of these rishis, now even when he went and saw Sabari, for example, like a lot of people, the Western lens, the deracinated secular crowd of modern India, all these people look at our ancient past through the lens of casteism, so that they can chastise and castigate us with their bigoted, myopic understanding. But when you look at the incident where Rama meets Sabari, the very first thing he asks Sabari is, how is your spiritual wealth? Are you able to focus on do dhyana? Are you able to do atma vichara? So what is the focus of Rama was always see how Dharma was upheld both within and without. So this constant connection to Dharma will come. Now when you are having this satsanga, you are having the connection to Dharma, that increases our perception of Dharma, our observance of Dharma, our upholding of Dharma, enabling of Dharma, and then we follow that, then our real understanding of Dharma has gone to next level, and then we repeat this process. We saw that already. So all of us need this constant dose, like all of us eat on a daily basis, all of us breathe constantly. So we need this kind of battery charging satsanga to keep us constantly on the track. If you have a train, you want the train to run only on the track, because if it gets off the track, what happens? It will just fall, tumble and fall. So we want ourselves to be kept on the rails of Dharma. So we need to constantly make sure that we are having this satsanga feed that will take us to that level. So the next thing we are looking at from a Dharma perspective, now we have been analyzing, for folks who just joined, we have been analyzing what is the secret sauce to make our relationships happy and healthy. It is not only a relationship with the spouse, it's also a relationship with our children, with our boss, with our employees, with our neighbor, with even the objects around us. How do we do that? And we have been understanding that Dharma is the key and the prime glue that connects everything. And we have been analyzing Rama as an example. Now we have been looking at how Rama had interaction with his parents, with the Rishis, with the citizens. Now we look at how Rama had relationship with his brothers and how we can profit from that. Now it is very simple. Rama's brothers were more similar yet different. When later when Shurpanaka sees Rama, she was lost in his beauty. But when she looked at Lakshmana, thought, man, he also looks just like him. May not have the same brilliance or radiance, but I can settle for him. It's not a bad compromise. So they not only looked similar, they thought similar, but they also did similar things. But there were different gradations, a huge spectrum, if you will. So Lakshmana looks at Rama and says, I am going to come with you to the forest. Rama said, who asked you to come? You stay here and take care of father. Especially with this Kaikeyi around, we need a strong man like you. Lakshmana said, no. Sorry. I am going to come with you. In fact, by this time, Sita also was, she had a discussion, strong discussion. And she convinced Rama that she is going to come. And Lakshmana was a constant shadow. And he uses the conversation that happened in between Sita and Rama as a proof, where Rama says, see, in Sanskrit there is Ekavachan, Dvivachan and Bahuvachan. That is singular and dual and plural. And Rama in one place he says it in plural. So Lakshmana took that, you said it in plural. That means at least 3 people, right? So Rama was wondering like if Lakshmana was paying any attention at all. But Lakshmana's only job was to pay attention to whatever Rama says. And Lakshmana argues with Rama endlessly and fights with him for his privilege to serve him. This is one level. You fight with the situation that is Bhagwan or Dharma and you want to do it at any cost. Bharata is no less. He also fights with Bhagwan. He comes all the way from to Chitrakuta from Ayodhya and he says he brings not only all the people to convince, he also comes again and again and again with different arguments. But this is the difference between Lakshmana and Bharata, if at all we can draw any. When Rama's final word is there, he would argue, but the thing is that he will say that this is my, when Rama says this is the last word, after that whatever Rama says, that's his final word for him. He won't argue any further. He won't, I have done my best, but I will follow whatever Rama says. That's his way of thinking. And then we have Shatrughna. Shatrughna says, you know what? That we look at our own lives. If Rama were to come and stand in front, right? Will you be comparing with Rama and saying like, hey, look, Rama, I am so strong, I am so beautiful. We are beyond comparison, right? In a good way, we are not even worth comparing with Rama. So we don't compare there. We say like, okay, whatever Rama says, we will do. So it is not that difficult for us to look at the grandeur of Bhagwan and submit to it. Unless we are of Asuric mindset, which I had written in the last blog also. If people interested, who are following my blog, you can read that. Once we develop that Asuric mindset, then it's a different ball game altogether. But here what we are doing is, when you look at a Bhagavata who is already surrendered to Bhagwan, we will come and look at that Bhagavata and we will bring our prism and we will say like, this person also eats like me only. He also goes to temple. Okay, so what? He can chant 4 Vedas. I know spelling of Veda. That's all. What is the big deal? But we are all same only. Our ego will not let us to submit to another person. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we already saw how Bhagwan went all the way from Dwaraka to Mithila to bless a couple of his bhaktas. In that discourse, he tells he is the very expression of these Bhagavatas. There is no difference between such a realized Bhagavata and Bhagavan himself, because their very presence, their very existence is Bhagavan's expression of the highest wisdom. So, when we surrender to another Bhagavata, that's not going to be easy. And that's why we have Shatrughna take that path. Shatrughna says, hey, I'm not going to fight with Rama like Lakshmana for doing seva to him. I'm not going to argue with Bhagavan and finally submit to him like Bharata. But I know Bharata is world class number 1 Bhagavata. I will do unconditional surrender to him. Now, all my equation is through this Bhagavata to Bhagavan. There is many people argue there is no Uttarakhanda. Uttarakhanda is all fake and whatever. If Uttarakhanda is not there, you will not know why Shatrughna was Shatrughna, because he has only one small role. He goes and kills one useless low grade asura called Lavanasura. That's all. It's just like swatting a mosquito, not a big deal. But Shatrughna is Shatrughna. What Shatru he conquers? He conquers the Shatru, the urge to go directly to Bhagwan and do seva to Bhagwan. Instead, he says, no, 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 I will do Bhagavata seva. What a great glorified way Shatrughna shows. In fact, all three of us show the same thing. It doesn't matter which path we take. And the beauty is Bhagavan accepts all three. Because all three are different manifestations of same Dharma only. And we will be really foolish to say Lakshmana is third grade, we'll give Bharata second grade because he listened to Rama, and only Shatrughna is first number one. This is not a running race. Let's not reduce our mindset to such a myopic, bigoted vision. When Rama himself accepts all the variations of Dharma, he accepts that. So in our relationships, what is the common thing? Common thing between all the three brothers with Rama was what? Love and respect for Rama. Right? No question on that. But depending on their vasanas, depending on their urge, inner urge, and their level of independence, level of interaction with Rama, they come with different pathways. So in relationships, we can't make people conform to rigid ideas. I can't come here and say, Kicha, from tomorrow you will be like this. Kicha is my good friend. Maybe someday he will listen to me, whatever. But if I try to shoebox him put him into that small shoebox and say that you should do this. Now just look at how we do in our relationships. We may have the experience, but when we come to our wife or our maybe our grandchild or anyone for that matter, we come and say, from our ego perspective, we say, thou shalt do this. And my ego doesn't let me accept that, because neither are you Rama nor am I Shatrughna. So I come with my response. I say like, why should I do that way? I will do my way. And then you come and say like, no, my way or the highway. Now you see what happened to the relationship. It went out of the window. And that is why we can't have that happiness and healthy in relationships, because the focus is not on Dharma. Now, if we are not conformant, now husband asks like, hey honey, where do you want to go to dinner? She says, I don't care, I know wherever you go. Now that is not holding on to rigid idea or whatever. Now you say, no, we should go Mexican. Another person says, no, we go Mediterranean. Another person says, no, we'll do Italian this time. Next time we'll. Now that is only discussion at Kama level. Same problem with the Artha level also. But if you are going to be holding on to principles and you are saying that I am okay as long as you are conformant to the principles, I will accept you, whether you are in the first level or second level, doesn't matter. You have scope for improvement. As long as you are holding Dharma, we are on the same direction. That's fine. That's all we need. But what we do is we don't have that mindset. We go to the level and we start saying, you will do what I say, or you will do according to this rule book. It may be written by somebody also. It doesn't matter. Some person of great repute. Doesn't matter. So the liberty should be there for the person to have that equation. You may have, say, for example, let's say like you have 5 friends. Now all these 5 friends will not be on the same page. You may like certain things with what the friend 1 does, but with the other friend, he may not be at the same level, but on some other things you may have a certain equation. So it is important to understand how we have that kind of openness and flexibility, yet being rooted in Dharma, for having a lasting relationship. That's what we learn from the brothers of Ramayana. Now, brothers of Ramayana is going to be a future talk. After maybe I pen one of my desires is to put all the different brothers, whether it is Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, whether it is the blood brothers of Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, Bharata, or whether it is Rama's acquired brothers, or even in those acquired brothers, there are brothers like Vali and Sugriva. So, I would love with Bhagwan's Kripa and grace, if I get an opportunity, I would love to do that. But anyway, that liberty and being rooted in Dharma are two important things, and lack of rigidity, like you don't want to fix this is how relationship should be. As long as it is following Dharma, it's good. Then let's look at Sita. We will not have time to go through a lot of them. We'll do a couple more and then we will finish our this week, and then we'll continue the next step, next part of the analysis the week after. Now, Sita is the very interesting character, right? If we want, if we want to be the role model, there is a lot to learn from Sita. Yes, Rama is of a different level, but somehow Sita is more proximal to us. I don't know how many of you feel that way. I feel that she makes it more relatable to us. Rama is like he is some like the sun shining on the orb of the sky, and Sita is more like close to us. Like heck, I can relate with her. Maybe because that matrutva, maybe that matru vatsalya comes through her, or maybe it is the way she keeps it more simple and humble to us in this drama what Rama and Sita enacted for us. I don't know, but it's my what's it like understanding. To understand Rama better, we have to go through Sita only. Understanding Sita is the foundation, is in many ways than one. I'm not talking from a philosophical perspective. I'm telling it more from a practical angle. Now Rama, now here again we see this situation. We already saw that how Kaikeyi wanted to get the kingdom. Kausalya was like shocked, and she said, my son, you are leaving to the forest, but take me with you. Rama said, no, your dharma is to be with your husband. He is alive, you have to be there with him. You can't leave him, you can't abandon him and come. Now today, this is not like today where there is like a physical abuse, mental abuse, this and that, and just escape with one divorce kind of scenario, right? This is a different league altogether. So Rama is saying that Kausalya should uphold Dharma. Now, he should have come to Sita and told the same thing. Sita, you have to be with your husband. Come with me. Come pack your bags. Let's go. Oh, here Rama throws the same googly, just like the citizens of Ayodhya, Bharata, all of them came and did the googly at Chitrakuta later. Rama does the same thing with Sita. He tells her that, look, our relationship, I am husband, you are wife, no problem. You don't have to come and spy me and all. I am going to be your husband forever. I am Ekapatni Vrata. Just because I go to the forest, I will not go start looking at some other damsel and start dancing around. I am going to be with you. You don't have to worry about that. I will be there for you forever. But Sita is not interested in, and then he comes to Sita and says, you know what, you stay in this. You are a Rajakumari. You have never seen outside the world. So you don't have to distress yourself and discomfort yourself. Stay here. Take care of my parents. Live nice palace life. I will go. I am used to forest life. I have already been with my guru. I have no problems. I'll go and come. But Sita refuses, puts her foot down And this is where many of us don't understand. Sita refuses to have an equation anything less than that of Dharma with Bhagwan. She is not wanting to look Bhagwan, okay, Rama, I want all this karma, so let's continue our drama. No, that's not how it works. She is not in for the wealth. A couple of months ago, I wrote I got a lot of inspiration by studying Anusuya Sita Samvada. And lot of nuggets are there. Long time back, I was doing a couple of talks on marriage. So the theme is continuing that eventually, when I finish writing one more, I'm thinking one more blog. When that is done, I will start an English series, talk series of happy, healthy marriages from the lessons we can learn from all these great, glorious people. We already looked at a couple of them, and many of them are in my blogs also. The interaction between Draupadi and Satyabhama, Kausalya and Sita, Anusuya and Sita, and there is a couple more I want to do similar theme. This was inspired from last year's talk I gave on Rukmini Vivaha. And following that, I gave a couple of talks. So people requested to continue that theme. But so here the idea was Sita refuses to take her equation with Rama anything less than Dharma. Because if you compromise Dharma in the relationship, what happens is if you settle for only Kama and Artha, you are settling for trinkets. But if you hold on to Dharma, your Artha and Kama are already contained in it. So you don't have to do extra and all. Just uphold Dharma, it will have both all the Saukyam and Sukham you want, it is already there in that. So we also understood that the role definition is not rigid. It's not like all men will do dharma enabling, all women will do dharma following. No, nothing like that. That role, that cap, all of us, like just like you may be a father, but you are also a son, you are also an employee, you are also an husband. So you have different roles. Excuse me. You have different roles. Same way when it comes to relationship, you may be the dharma follower, you may be the dharma enabler, you may be the one going to the next level of dharma understanding, doesn't matter. Sita is also a dharma follower, but she is also a dharma enabler. Traditionally, women in our societies were very cherished for upholding dharma. In fact, Manu Shastra says if you lose all the understanding manuscripts of all this Manu Dharma and all this understanding, all you need to do is go to that village, find the oldest practicing dharmic lady, old woman. Take notes from her, you would have recovered most of it. So the idea that Sita is giving the example to all of us. Now, when she says she is setting the example, it doesn't mean only women should do that. What it means is she is setting the example as a woman, but the example is not limited to man or woman. We should understand that. A word which we refer to women in our Sanatana Dharma is Sahadharmacharini, one who walks along us in the path of Dharma. That means one has to be, the prerequisite for that is what? The guy also has to be following Dharma. You go whatever adharma, then the lady says, I Sahadharmacharini, she is walking alone. No. Both husband and wife are walking together. She is not, it is not like the guy is leading in the front. All these feminazis come with this weird misunderstanding. The guy is patriarchal society. Guy is saying do this. No, no, no. That is the Abrahamic society. In Sanatana Dharma, the guy is following Dharma. The woman is standing right beside. Right beside. She is not leading. She is not the feminazi kind of woman who says, I will lead from front. And she is not the subordinate who says, I will follow wherever you go. Come on, kabadi, kabadi. No. You are following, both are following Dharma. And then here comes the interesting aspect. Sita was what? Very small child when she got married to Rama, right? So, the question comes at the marriage. Janaka holds Sita's hand and puts it in the hand of Rama. Rama is Parabrahma. He is like all the time thinking about Parabrahma only. There is an interesting description in Ramayana that nobody in the marriage saw Rama or Sita fully, it seems. Because people who saw the feet could not take their eyes off the feet and the glory of Rama. People who saw his broad shoulders, their gaze was stuck on the shoulders, and so on and so forth. So, but Rama is being Parabrahmam. We already saw that Brahman exists only as Brahman. But for you and me who are in the Laukika plane, it exists as Dharma. But identically it is both. Both are identical only. From Brahman perspective, it is only Brahman. Everywhere it is only Brahman. But because we are seeing from our perspective, we perceive it as Dharma. When we elevate ourselves to the Brahma plane, we will also perceive Paramatma in his real form. So here Brahman is there, Rama is Rama only. Atma Rama. So the Acharyas who like to do commentary, these Acharyas have so much grace and compassion, they try to add some extra insights. Like there are people who do this mind voice. Like when you are talking with someone, you think in your head, but you don't tell it out. Like say, wife made a new recipe and she gives it to you with a lot of love, and it is so salty or whatever, but you can't open your mouth and say it is salty because she took 6 hours to make that recipe for you. So you are like doing the song and dance. I think it is nice. Maybe you should try. Why don't you go ahead and taste it? I think this is very nice. That's what you will say. So Rama was lost in that Brahma thought. That's what the Acharyas are doing the commentary, special commentary. In their own mind voice, they are all thinking. So Janaka takes Sita's hand and he puts it in Rama's hand. Rama doesn't see any difference between Janaka and Sita only, because for him everything is same. And then he says, Iyam Sita, Mama Suta. This is Sita, my daughter. Rama, still no effect. He is Brahman only. And then, next word he says is, Sahadharmachari Tava. She will be following Sahadharmachari. She is a Sahadharmacharini. Whichever path of Dharma you are going. Now, the Acharyas imagined Rama's mind voice and said, what if I don't follow Dharma? So, for that immediately they also imagined Janaka's mind voice. And they said, it is impossible for Rama to not follow Dharma. But Janaka said, in that rare case you derail. This girl will put you back on the track and she will set you in that journey of Dharma. And she will walk along with you. That's why it says Sahadharma Charini Tava. So again, the foundation and the emphasis is given on Dharma upholding in relationships. Be it marriage, be it otherwise. So this was when Sita was what, 5-6 years, she got married, whatever, right? And now when she is much older and she is ready to go to the forest and things like that, she is fighting for her dharma. She is not fighting for being with, she is not going to some honeymoon like how these idiotic Abrahamic twisted TV presentations, right? She is not fighting, hey, okay, I'm going honeymoon with my husband. He never took me out. That's not where she is going. She is focused on only one thing, that Dharma I need to uphold. And Rama, you cannot say that I can't uphold Dharma. And my Dharma is to be with you. So she throws the kitchen sink at Rama. She doesn't compromise. She doesn't want to let go. She doesn't want to even compromise one bit. She starts like when you start the innings, the very first ball you hit for a 6, right? Same way, the very first ball she opens, the very first comment she opens at Rama is basically she throws the kitchen sink. She says, nothing doing. My father got cheated. Did he give in marriage to a woman in the guise of man? Whoa. She starts with such aggression that Rama could not even hold her. Rama just wanted to check the temperature, that's all. But this was too strong for Rama. But what is the message for you and me? In a relationship, again we are not confining to only husband-wife relationship because we are talking about Rama and Sita. The message for you and me is that we must take our time to focus only on the Dharma angle. Uphold the Dharma in that relationship. And Sita also plays, a few months back, I think we discussed on the root cause of violence, I think, if I am not mistaken. If not, that blog is also there. But I think I gave that talk, I'm not sure. So, after meeting Sharabanga and Sutikshana and meeting all the Rishis, Rama decides to go to the forest, deeper, with the weapons. Sita says, stop. And we will go and analyze that another time in depth if we have not done that. There is so much amount of treasure to dig through that, then it will be another 1 hour, just we will be lost in that conversation, in the beauty and the depth and the grandeur of that simple conversation that is happening between Rama and Sita. But Sita always had the right to question Rama. She asks Rama, but she does it with all humility and sweetness and in typical Sita style. See, there is a lot of grace when Sita talks to, wherever Sita is uttering any word to anyone, be it Ravana or be it Rama. There is such a grace. She is grace personified. Of course, she is beauty personified, this and that. But you can't help wonder the grace she has, the delicate way of handling. Now, in this scenario, what we have to learn is that Rama and Sita always had an open channel. Whenever she had the faintest doubt that Rama maybe, not even that Rama is doing something, she has like, hey, I want to clarify, you are still on the right direction. I don't know if you have seen, like, I don't know if many of you have traveled long distances, and especially in US, driving long distances is like part of US lifestyle. And especially if you are traveling through night or whatever, or maybe let's say you and your spouse are traveling, and maybe one of them dozes off. Hopefully, it's not the driver, right? So, and suddenly the other passenger wakes up and says, "Hey, where are we? Are we headed in the right direction? Where is the next destination?" They just want to validate where we are headed, right? The same way, Sita wants to ask Rama, hold on. We have no personal enmity with all these Rakshasas. Why are we going straight to meet them? Why are we going to fight them? Remember, Rama is Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. All beings' welfare he is only looking after. Why these people are given special negative treatment? Why? So, what is happening is Rama and Sita never had shut down that channel where they can discuss Dharma. So, in any relationship, be it friends, be it whatever relationship, we should always have that open relationship where the other person can come and challenge you and say, hey, are you doing any dharmic thing or are you doing adharmic thing? So, in this particular case, what happens? Sita is challenging Rama's intention, and she tells the mistakes that can arise out of that wrong notion. And we see that all those things she listed, she says, if you are going and having these kind of strong desires, attachment and things like that, what will happen? You will unnecessarily get anger, you will go and fight with someone for no reason, you will kill somebody, you will do adharmic things. So all things what Ravana proves, because he is the antithesis of Rama, right? But Rama takes time to clarify. He says, the first thing he says is, see, one thing we need to learn from Rama is how to sweeten our words. That's one thing which probably I need to get a double dose of it. No question on that. So, but the thing is that Rama is all the time talking about how to deliver the message sweetly. So he says, Sita, and as we saw, Sita was there only for her very few years with Janaka, right? So he says, what you just asked Sita is showcasing the way your father has raised you. Can you imagine what happens to a husband's status in the house when he openly says, your parents have raised you so well? Not in a sarcastic way, in a real way, in a deep, heartfelt way. But today's husbands don't have time to forget about even wife. If she does nice things, they don't have the grace to accept it, and vice versa. Even husband does something nice, the wife doesn't have the grace to accept also. It's all taken for granted. But here Rama openly praises, heaps of praise on, showers heaps of praise on Janaka. And then he says, the way in which you ask the question, oh my goodness, that's real class. So, and then he tells Sita, I am going there only to uphold Dharma. In short, he says, you don't have to have any doubt if I am getting off tracks of Dharma. I am going there only for Dharma. My Kshatriya Dharma is to protect people. Now, even if you say my jurisdiction is not all over, fine, but Rishis like all these Rishis came to me and you saw them and they asked me, they pleaded with me, please protect from these asuras. So, since they have asked, I have to do it. So, double reason, my Dharma is my only motivation, nothing otherwise. So, what is the main lesson we can take from this? The freedom to question the other person's motive is very crucial, especially if we want a Dharma based, happy, healthy relationship. Now, let's say, for example, you don't have that kind of freedom. Then what will happen? I get a doubt. Let's say, for example, okay, Kicha and I are good friends. Now, Kicha and I, let's say that we don't have that open relationship. One day I do something shady. Kicha got to know of it. Now, he doesn't have the ability to question me. He thinks like, did he really do it? Maybe he did it. Next time I do something, he will start connecting that. So, this cancer inside of doubt will start eating away the relationship, the health in the relationship, the happiness in the relationship. So, in all relationships, we should be having that freedom. And if we don't have that freedom, then you can be assured that it is not based on Dharma. So, I know that I wanted to finish a couple more characters, but let's stop at one nice point. Um, let's take one more character and then we will look at from Jatayu onwards later. Now, Guha is, let's put Rama in the boat and we'll set him across Ganga, right? So that way we already been to Chitrakuta. So let us put Rama in Chitrakuta and we will leave from there for next week. So one of the important things we have to know is relationship is always between equals. But sometimes what we think is, no, I am the bigger guy, I am the stronger guy, and you are the weaker person, you are the one who is coming for my relationship. No. Let's say that someone comes to me for money or whatever. The way we should be ideally thinking, if our ego should not be bloated, is we should focus on, hey, I thank Bhagwan that he chose to give me so much wealth or resource or whatever that I can be of use to this person. But we don't think like that. We think like, I have so much money, I am just throwing at this person's face, and that is the way we are having the equation. We should not. And Rama sets the record right away straight. Very early in Ramayana, the way he had the special relationship with Guha. Instead of looking at him like only like a boatsman. And how long was the duration of their relationship? Overnight. Can you imagine how short lived was their connection? But Rama saw the purity of the heart of this tribal and he said, you are not born to my parents, but you are still my brother. Let that sink in. It's a very heavy thing what Rama did, right? So Rama took time to have the relationship on equal footing. We also see that a lot of negative people also do that. We will see that. We'll probably end with that after finishing Guha. We'll take an example of Duryodhana and Karna. We'll come back to that. Let me put that as on the placeholder. The simple Guha was elevated despite having no swag, if you will. So in real relationships, pure relationships, the goodness of your heart is what matters. That good intentions are always rooted and grounded in Dharma. Now, since we invoked Duryodhana, many people will come and say, hey, the definition of friendship, Duryodhana and Karna. Right? Definition of friendship, Duryodhana and Karna. But is that the real definition of friendship? Let's think through. This guy was not even in the family, at least till the end, he didn't know that. And Karna comes and participates in every single scheme Duryodhana or Shakuni come up with. Be it Lakshagraha, be it Draupadi Vastrarana, he was the one who instigated that entire Draupadi Vastrarana episode. If somebody had put two plasters on Karna's mouth, there would have been no Draupadi Vastrarana. He was the one who instigated the whole episode by calling her a prostitute. Such is the association, negative association, and it was based on the strength and prowess of Karna that Duryodhana thought he was invincible. Now, to counterpunch this negative analysis, we need to look at what is good friendships, just like Guha and Rama. Simple, pure equation. Purity, Dharma, is at the center of this equation. The relationship between Bhagwan Krishna, Sri Krishna and Arjuna. The relationship between Sri Krishna and Sudama. Again, Sudama Krishna relationship was only few months because Bhagwan mastered one art every day. So he finished 64 arts in 64 days. So he probably stayed with Sandipani for 2.5-3 months max. That was the level of his interaction with Sudama. And many decades later, when Sudama goes, he doesn't even want to exhibit his poverty so that Krishna should not accidentally think that he came to see Krishna only for something. Look at Sudama's mind. Forget about Krishna being elevated, that's all right. In a relationship, there is always no status, no preconsidered, prejudiced notion. You always have an open equation. Now, even in the Duryodhana Karna equation, they didn't have that status and whatever. But their direction was completely wrong because there was no Dharma there. So it always ends up in a bad result, no matter how great that friendship or equation is, because it's not deep rooted. But in case of Bhagwan Krishna and Sudama, Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna and Uddhava, anything with Bhagwan is going to be uplifting because Bhagwan is Dharma. We already saw that. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. So when we look and have that relationship based on Dharma, we are going to have long lasting, happy, healthy relationships. Bhagwan Krishna gave all the wealth to Sudama, but it had no impact on that man because that man was not looking at equation with relationship with Krishna was on Artha or Kama. He was not even happy with Dharma as the basis. He was more wanting a more intimate relationship as the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma. That was the equation he was willing to settle for, nothing less. Of course, we don't have Krishna here in every equation, right? So we have to settle for at least Dharma. Same thing, Krishna Arjuna equation gave you and me Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And same way that Krishna and Uddhava relationship gave us the Uddhava Gita. So there will only be great things that will come out of good, healthy relationships that are rooted in happy in Dharma. So maybe with that note, that we have to have healthy, happy relationships that are founded in Dharma, and with the trailer that what is going to come next week, we still have few more characters to analyze. Jatayu. We'll also be looking into Kabanda, Sabari, Vali, Sugriva, Vibhishana, Ravana, and Hanuman. So we will look at the relationship between these characters and Rama. What has it got to do with Dharma, and what has that entire equation got to do with our living a healthy, happy life with beautiful relationships. So I know that this kind of like this is a very deep topic. We don't want to rush through it. At the same time, we don't want to keep prolonging it. Hope we struck that balance. So on that note, let's all look at Sri Ramchandra Murthy as the role model. He is the Maryada Purushottama. He is the example we all need to emulate and we need to follow. So let us not deviate from this glorious example from Dharma, and let us take that all the lessons we have learned from Rama's interaction with all these people and how these characters have played out, and apply it in our life. And we will also start enjoying wonderful, healthy, happy relationships that will last long because we are focusing on Dharma. With those words, let's conclude today's talk, and we will continue the next part next weekend. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Har Har Mahadev.